What's up guys, RJ here. Today I'm going to be showing you the things that I explained in my previous video. If you want to go check it out, I'll probably have a link in the description below. So, last video I explained about farming crystal chunks daily efficiently. In the previous video I didn't really show any in-game footage, I just showed like some pictures and screenshots. Today we're actually going to be doing some crystal farming runs. So let's get to it then. If you guys are confused as to what I'm doing, go ahead and look up my previous video so you can see what we're doing. Today we're gonna start off in Liyue. It's totally up to you whether you want to start in Liyue or in Monstadt. Either way is fine, doesn't really matter. Of course, as I explained in the first video, you have to go talk to this guy. In Liyue, he's called Master Zhang. You gotta choose this option, which is about Liyue's mining products. Right? And then after that, there'll be a couple of prompts. Just go through them, really. I mean, it's up to you if you want to read them. Again, you can only do this 2 hours after your daily server reset. Now, if you want to know what daily server reset is, I explained that in my previous video. After you talk to Master Zhang in Liyue, he's going to open up the map for you, and he's also going to point out 5 of your 10 daily crystal spots. Let's find out which 5 we have today. So first one is over here, 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 and here. In my previous video, I also explained about how sometimes the way ley lines are arranged, they can also tell you which spots may or may not have spawned crystal chunks for that day. So look at the way your ley lines are arranged to know which spots you don't need to spend time running to for that day. One of the ley lines should be here, and the other ley line should be right around here. And if you do have that ley line arrangement, then that would immediately tell you that there would be no crystal chunks spawning in Guyun Stone Forest. Now, it doesn't follow it completely accurately, according to my experience. Don't worry though, it's very easy to check if they actually do spawn in Guyun Stone Forest. All you gotta do is just teleport to this teleporter right here, take a couple of steps over here, and now you'll see crystal chunks that are here. So that should tell you that crystal chunks are spawning in the 4 spots in Guyun Stone Forest. Now, when there are no crystal chunks here, there are also no crystal chunks anywhere else in Guyun Stone Forest. So they all spawn together. Okay, I guess that's up to you if you really want to min-max everything. So what I tend to do is I have this team that has double Anemo. In my case, that's Kazuha and Jin. And then I have Razor. If you guys have Zhongli, that's even better. Razor and Zhongli have this skill where if you hold their E skill, then they break crystal chunks in the surrounding area. Zhongli, I think, is much better because he has a much wider AoE, whereas Razor has a decent AoE, but not as wide as Zhongli's. Alright, so, I just have D-Look here as a DPS because, like all my other characters on this team are not really DPSs, so, alright. So, anyway, let's get started then. Yeah, so here's our first spot. That's totally up to you if you want to collect the blue ones too. You don't need to. That's, again, totally up to you if you do want to collect them. Alright, next one, you gotta go over here. Now, again, there are 4 spots in Guyun Stone Forest if they do spawn there on that day for you. And a couple of other things that I do like to do as extra. I like to get these crystal flies. Because if you are F2P and you're not refreshing resin or using up, what's it called? Fragile resin? Yeah, it's called fragile resin. Fragile resin, or if you're not using primo gems. Oh yeah, that's right. There are also birds here. If you have, if you want to bring a bow user to get some fowl, there are a bunch of birds here. Unfortunately, my team does not have one. This is your second spot. Now, again, in my previous video, I explained the logic that you would have to keep in mind. You would have to keep in mind that there are 10 spots. And so, how many have we collected so far? We've gone to 2 spots so far. And this is our 3rd spot. So that means we have 7 spots to go. Now, so if you noticed, if you look at the map again, there are 5 spots marked here. None of the 10 spots are marked in Guyun Stone Forest. So that means we already know where 4 of them are. They're in Guyun Stone Forest. And we already know the other 5, which is over here, in these spots. Now we're just missing one more spot. Now, that one more spot, I'm going to show you that later. It does vary depending on what day and where your crystal chunks spawn. But yeah, I'm going to show you that later. So we're heading to our 4th spot in Guyun Stone Forest. If you guys don't know what I'm doing like a swimming trick that conserves stamina and makes you swim faster. Just look up some guides of how to do it. It's actually very easy to do. Oh yeah, that's right. If you guys are wondering why I'm collecting the blue ones too, which I don't really think that you should be doing it. Well, I don't think you should be crafting enhancement ores using the blue ones because they use up resin. And in this game, resin's about one of probably the most valuable resource in the game. I just collect them so that I can feed them into my parametric transformer. This little doohickey here. Okay, if you'll notice, we're here at Mount Tianheng. And on the map, it only shows 1. But if you look here, there are 2 spots. Now these 2 always spawn together. If this spot spawns crystal chunks on this day, that spot over there also spawns crystal chunks that day, on the same day. So these 2 spots always spawn together. So that means we already know exactly where all 10 spots are. 4 of them are here, and the other 6 are here. So if you count all of that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means you don't need to go visit all the other spots that could potentially spawn crystal chunks on that day. That saves you a lot of time. And that is my whole point, because if you guys are like me, I work a full-time job, so I really don't have a lot of time to play this game, but I also don't want to fall behind. Because I just really like playing this game, so that's why. Oh yeah, here's a little trick that I do here. Yeah, just take for me, I don't know if other Claymore users work like that. I find Razor works like that. If you know, just you'll see what I did, right? I made it efficient. So there really are little tricks that you could do to just make your crystal runs more efficient. And then now that we've identified where all of our 10 spots are in Liyue, it's just a matter of collecting them. Oh yeah, there are also a bunch of crystal flies in this cave right here. If you guys are short on crystal flies, okay, let's move over here. I usually like to collect a lot of stuff along the way. A lot of it has just become a habit.
My flame has been extinguished.
Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. It really is up to you. Like, you really don't need to farm all of these. But if you guys are just starting out in the game, you know, like, you really will definitely need Mystic Enhancement ores, because if you guys are just starting out, then you're gonna be likely to have to upgrade a bunch of weapons that you probably won't even use forever. So, like, for example, you'll get like a temporary weapon now because you just don't have any other options. So you've already used Mystic Enhancement ores. So Mystic Enhancement ores that you will not get the full investment on because you had to raise that weapon temporarily, and then you get a better one. Now you also have to raise that. So Mystic Enhancement ores really are quite valuable, especially in the early game. I forgot to respawn. You look. Yeah. So yeah. By the way, so we're heading over to Mondstadt to Wagner. So when you talk to Wagner, choose this option. Any tips on finding ore in Mondstadt? Again, just follow the prompts. He'll do the same thing as Master Zhang. He'll open up the map for you and show you 3 of the 6 spots in Mondstadt. There are 6 spots in Mondstadt that spawn crystal chunks daily, and he only marks 3 of them. So now we know where 3 of them are. One's in Wolvedon, over here, and over here. Again, checking ley lines. Again, in my previous video, I showed the 2 specific arrangements of ley lines we need to look out for in Mondstadt. So it looks like we don't see that over here today. So that means we don't need to check this spot over here, or this spot over here. So we can just go straight to this one right here. So again, as I was saying earlier, Mystic Enhancement ores are actually very valuable early game because you're gonna have to spend a bunch of them. Probably not even for permanent investments like weapons that you'll use until late game. Like for example, you'll have like prototype Rancor and you're gonna use it on your Kaya, for example, because I'm using Kaya as an example because he's a character that everyone is definitely going to have early game, and at that stage, you really have no other choice. You use Kaya or your other free characters, but as you keep getting more and more characters, you're gonna need more and more weapons for them. You're gonna need to upgrade more and more weapons. But of course, there's a possibility that you might not even have their best in slot weapons. So you're gonna have to upgrade temporary weapons for them. And I'm not saying you should upgrade them to the max. Just be smart and optimize your resources. If you know you're gonna be playing this free to play, or if you're a low spender, you're gonna have to optimize where you spend your resources. Again, I know this is just a game, and just play it. Right? You're not really losing anything in the real world, but min-maxing every little detail of this, it's just something that I like to do. I like to maximize it because, again, that's just the type of player I am. I guess it's all just related to just not having time. I have very little time to play this game. I do my best to play this game every day just to keep up with it. I do my dailies, use up my resin, but again, because I don't have that, I don't have a lot of time to play this game. I guess that's why I want to min-max everything. Oh yeah, if you guys are triggered that I didn't get the white iron chunks, that's really up to you. You could, but I don't really need them anymore. I've got a bunch of them, I just don't know what uses I would have for them yet. Oh yeah, if you noticed, I went to a very specific spot right here with Razor. If you guys are using Razor, if you don't have Zhongli, then if you stand right here and hold Razor's E, you can actually hit all three of them at the same time. So if you guys remember, our three marked ones were this one, the one in Wolbendom, this one over here, and this one over here. And if you guys remember, we had crystal chunks spawn here, here, and somewhere here. So that means we already know where three of them were. Count with me. Again. 1, 2, 3. And then the marked ones, we just got the first of the three marked ones. That was over here. 1, 2, 3. So now we already know where all the 6 are. So we don't need to go to this one over here. There's another one over there, and that's such a long run. So you don't need to waste that time running all the way over there just to check and it's not there, because you already know where the 6 are. So if you guys are wondering why I switched to D-Look when I'm sprinting, tall characters just have a faster run animation. I mean, I could use Razor and do the bunny hop technique. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. There are a bunch of ways to save time on sprinting instead of just spamming the sprint. Did you notice what I did there? Again, little trick just to save those seconds of your life. And that's it. We did all 16 spots in Monstadt and Liyue. 6 spots in Monstadt, 10 spots in Liyue. We didn't even go to a single spot that we didn't need to. Now, of course, you can't guarantee that you only need to go to those 16 spots specifically. There will be days where you're gonna have to check 1 or 2 extra spots, but at least you're not checking any spots that you don't need to anymore. Now that you know this routine, this mindset that you guys have to keep, you'll be able to save a bunch of time on farming your crystal chunks daily. Why should I farm crystal chunks every day? That's totally up to you. I'm not telling you how to play your game. You play the game however you want to. I'm just telling you this is a thing that you could do to save yourself some resources. I'm on my 3rd account here, and I have a bunch of Mystic Enhancement ores already. I have 4k plus, and that tells me that I could upgrade more than 4. That tells me that I could upgrade 4 5-star weapons from 0 to 90. No problem. Wouldn't even have to buy any more Mystic Enhancement ores. Upgrading a 5-star weapon from level 1 to 90 takes about 900 plus Mystic Enhancement ores. So 4k easily upgrades 4 5-star weapons. I don't have any yet on this account. This is my 3rd account. Yeah, and I still have a bunch of crystal chunks over here. Why didn't I talk about Inazuma? It's because I just don't need to. Monstadt and Liyue crystal chunks, if you just farm the daily ones as well as the 3-day ones, which we will cover in another video, they give you more than enough for what you need, really. I personally have not even needed to farm any of the chunks in Inazuma. I did mark them on the map just in case I do eventually end up needing to make a video on it sometime in the future. I've found out there are so many spots in Inazuma. I've just seen so many of them. I feel like there are probably a lot more in Inazuma than in Mondstadt and Liyue. That's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them as soon as I can. If you guys have any suggestions or comments, please let me know. Thanks again for watching. If you guys like the video, like it. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.